Yung dati pong senador na si Antonio Trillanes ay nagpunta daw po sa The Hague. Pinaniniwalaan po ng karamihan ay siya po ay nagpunta mismo sa kulungan ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Nais lang po sana namin itong malinawan dahil matagal po akong nakulong sa Bilibid. Hindi po kailanman na meron pong pupunta na tao na hindi mo gustong makita. Yun po, tatanungin ka muna ng gwardya kung gusto mo bang makita itong taong ito. Gusto lamang po naming malinawan kasi meron na pong matinding sakit si Tatay Digong. Sa kasalukuyan po, siya po ay meron ng tinatawag nating early signs of dementia. Kaya sana lang po, malinawan po namin to. Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo.
Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We take note of the manifestation of our good colleague. So, Mr. President, I move that we proceed with the reference of business. Additional reference of business.
The Secretary will proceed with the reference of business.
Additional reference of business, bills on first reading, Senate number 1419, an act consolidating all performance measurement tools and reward system for all local government units by institutionalizing a culture of meritocracy in the Philippines, amending certain provisions of RA 11292, the Seal of Good Local Governance Act of 2019, and for other purposes, Senator Villar M.
Referred to the Committees on Local Government and Finance.
Senate number 1420, an act mandating the inclusion of social awareness and social responsibilities as part of the curriculum in all senior high schools, Senator Villar M.
Referred to the Committee on Basic Education.
Senate number 1421, an act mandating the integration of the National Building Code of the Philippines under RA 6541, an act to ordain and institute a National Building Code of the Philippines as a major subject in the curriculum of the Bachelor of Science degree programs in Civil Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, Electrical Engineering, Sanitary Engineering, Electronic Engineering, and Architecture, and its inclusion as a topic in the licensure examinations for these professions, Senator Villar M.
To the Committees on Higher Education and Civil Service.
Senate number 1422, an act promoting integrated urban agriculture in urban areas nationwide to address food security and appropriating funds therefore, Senator Villar M.
To the Committees on Agriculture and Finance.
Senate number 1423, an act establishing nursing homes for senior citizens at the provincial and city levels, providing for funding, setting standards, ensuring personnel training, promoting community participation, and for other purposes, Senator Ontiveros.
To the Committees on Social Justice, Local Government and Finance.
Senate number 1424, an act integrating the study of West Philippine Sea in the curricula of all public and private basic educational institutions, Senator Estrada.
To the Committees on Basic Education and Finance.
Senate number 1426, an act establishing the Philippine Professional Standards and Quality Assurance System, Senator Legarda.
To the Committees on Higher Education and Civil Service.
Senate number 1427, an act strengthening the Commission on Higher Education, repealing for the purpose RA 7722, the Higher Education Act of 1994, Senator Legarda.
To the Committees on Higher Education, Ways and Means and Finance.
Resolutions, proposed Senate Resolution 138, congratulating and commending Filipino-American singer Jessica Sanchez for winning America's Got Talent Season 20, the first contestant of Filipino descent to win the competition, Senator Estrada.
To the Committee on Rules.
Proposed Senate Resolution 140, expressing the sense of the Senate and celebrating the robust interparliamentary relations between the Senate of the Philippines and the National Assembly of Hungary, and honoring the steadfast leadership of its distinguished Speaker, the Honorable Laszlo Kover, Senator Zubiri.
To the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that we consider proposed resolution number 140. This is a resolution honoring Hungary parliamentary ties and Speaker Laszlo Kover. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there an objection? Hearing none, the consideration of proposed Senate Resolution 140 is in order. Secretary is directed to read the title of the resolution.
Resolution expressing the sense of the Senate in celebrating the robust interparliamentary relations between the Senate of the Philippines and the National Assembly of Hungary, and honoring the steadfast leadership of its distinguished Speaker, the Honorable Laszlo Kover.
Mr. President, may I be recognized to sponsor the measure, Mr. President?
You may do so. You proceed, Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Siguro kasama ko po dito sa ating Senado ay nagtataka bakit po natin in-honor ang ating samahan at pagkakaibigan ng Hungary and the Hungarian Parliament is also because we're going to receive the Hungarian speaker, which is the number 3. I think he's your co-equal, Mr. President. They only have a single parliament in Hungary, but he's also third in rank and line of succession in Hungary, and he'll be visiting us, I believe, on October 15. So that's why we are hopefully be able to pass this resolution and be giving it to him. And as a fact, Mr. President, Hungary has always been a good friend of the Philippines, particularly since our establishment of diplomatic relations 52 years ago. Since then, Hungary has championed us in matters regarding the European Union. As a matter of fact, when we pushed for our status as priority beneficiary of the General Scheme of Preferences, or GSP, and our ongoing negotiations for free trade agreement, it is Hungary that's in the forefront of pushing for these two measures to be approved by the European Union Parliament. Hungary has also been constant in her support for our country's fair share in the global landscape, such as our maritime rights under the international law, as well as our bid for membership with the United Nations Security Council and the United Nations Commission on International Trade. The close friendship between our two countries is perhaps best exemplified through our ties with the Parliament's Hungary-Philippines Friendship Group, headed by their Deputy Speaker, who's a dear friend of mine, Mr. President, Isvatan Yakab. And he's the president. I happen to be the counterpart. I happen to be the president of the Philippine-Hungary Friendship Group. When we visited last October 2023, they graciously welcomed our delegation in 2023 as well as 2020, as early as 2029, of which time we were hosted by this previous one by the national speaker himself, Laszlo Kover, along with Deputy Speaker Jakub. In turn, we've had the honor of welcoming friends from the Hungarian National Assembly in November 2021, led by Deputy Speaker Jakub, and in January of this year, led by Committee on Foreign Affairs Chairperson Zsolt Nemeth. And again, this October, as Speaker Kover leads an official visit to the Philippines. These exchanges have been wonderfully productive and have yielded stronger partnerships in agriculture, education, healthcare, and disaster management. As an agriculturist myself, I have to thank Hungary for being extremely generous with their expertise in agriculture and aquaculture technology, to our great benefit, Mr. President. Indeed, one of the highlights of our 2023 visit to Hungary was getting to sit down with the heads of Hungarian universities, Hungarian University of Agriculture and Life Sciences, or MATE. This is their equivalent of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, which dedicates 35 slots for Filipino scholars every year. And many of our best and brightest are getting their education in Hungary. As a matter of fact, Mr. President, my Chief of Staff, Attorney Nelisa Makapayag, is a graduate of Hungarian education for her master's. And they're bringing all that knowledge back home to help us build stronger agricultural sector and more food security for the future of our Filipinos. To top that, during our meeting with the Hungarian cabinet officials in 2023, we learned that they have allotted 20,000 jobs to Filipino workers in their agricultural and IT industries. Let me repeat that, Mr. President. Hungary allotted 20,000 Filipino jobs in their agricultural and IT industries. They love the Filipinos in Hungary because Hungary happens to be also a very Catholic country. Many people don't know that, they're quite religious. They believe in family values. Kaya pagpunta po ng ating mga kababayan dun sa Hungary, fit na fit po sila sa sistema at sa kultura ng mga Hungarians. So that's why they love the Filipinos. We're the only country that they've given that large of allotment of workers. Hungary has truly given us their full support from education to employment. And I have every faith that the upcoming visit of the delegation led by Speaker Kover will further strengthen the ties between our two countries, built upon 52 years of friendship and building towards an even more robust future of bilateral cooperation. To celebrate this friendship, we'll be presenting this Senate resolution to Speaker Cover during his parliamentary visit here in the Senate on October 15. In line with this, I would like to invite all our colleagues to a luncheon reception on the same day for the entire Hungarian delegation. So once again, Mr. President, maraming salamat.
Thank you. Majority Leader, are there any interpellation?
There are no interpellations, Mr. President, just a quick amendment to the resolution.
Therefore, I will entertain a motion to
Yeah, we
open
could
the
close
period
the
of
period
amendments.
to close the period of interpellation, Mr. President. So,
Period of interpellation is closed. The period of amendments open.
Yes,
You are
Mr. President.
recognized.
Mr. President, just on the second whereas clause to delete, and I quote, "end the United Nations Commission on International Trade." Close quote. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, amended is approved.
There being no other amendments, move to close the period of amendments.
Any objection? Hearing none, period of amendments closed.
Mr. President, with that, I move to adopt Senate Resolution number 140, subject to style. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none. PS Resolution 140 is hereby approved.
May I request that all
Adopted.
members be made co-sponsor, Mr. President?
Hearing no objection, therefore, we are making all the members present as co-authors or co-sponsors? Co-authors of the measure.
And we have another resolution, Mr. President. You ready for Mr. Vinzons? Yes, sir. Mr. President, I move that we consider proposed Senate Resolution number 128. This is the resolution commemorating the 115th birthday anniversary of Wenceslao Vinzons. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, consideration of PS 128 is approved. Majority Leader.
I will ask the Secretary, Mr. President, to read.
Secretary-
I move that we consider the proposed Senate resolution and ask the Secretary to read the
Yes,
measure.
the Secretary will read the measure, will read the title of the measure.
Resolution commemorating the 115th birth anniversary of Wenceslao Q. Vinzons and honoring him as the perpetual symbol of hope and youthful leadership in the struggle against poverty, inequality, and corruption.
Every time we approve this, every time we call on the resolution and we ask the Secretary to read the title of the measure, it is inherent in that the content of the resolution is hereby adopted, inserted into the records of the Senate.
Yes,
All right,
that's
Majority
correct.
Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that we recognize our distinguished colleague from Pampanga, Quezon City, and Cavite, no other than Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan, to sponsor the measure.
Senator Francis Pangilinan is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Majority Leader, distinguished colleagues. I rise to sponsor Senate Resolution number 128 to commemorate the 115th birth anniversary of Wenceslao Vinzons. Before I proceed, Mr. President, I'd like to place on record that the following are here with us as members of the family of Wenceslao Q. Vinzons from Camarines Norte, namely Councilors Wenceslao Vinzons III, Councilor Joseph Justin Vinzons, and Mr. John Vinzons de Guzman. Mr. President, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is with pride and pleasure that I rise before you today to sponsor Senate Resolution 128 and give tribute to World War II hero and martyr Wenceslao Q. Vinzons. Our resolution seeks to remember his birth and his life. Karangalan para sa akin ang isponsor ang Senate Resolution na ito na naglalayong gunitain ang ika-115 birth anniversary ni Wenceslao Bintao Vinzons dahil siya ang OG na aktivista. Aktivista bago pa ang World War II. Itinuturing ko rin siyang kapatid, hindi lamang sa aming kapatiran na Upsilon Sigma Phi sa pamantasan ng Pilipinas, kundi kapatid din sa pakikibaka. Yesterday, his hometown, Indan, now named after him, celebrated this happy occasion. Taglay ng kanyang bayan ang kanyang pangalan at alaala. Itong resolusyon ay para muling ipagdiwang ang diwa ng kanyang nakakabilib na buhay. Pambihira si Bintaw, o sa salita ng kabataang Gen Z, he is fire. Valedictorian nung high school, magaling na debater sa UP Law, champion orator, number 3 sa bar exams. Sa edad na 22, sa kanyang Malaysia Irredenta, nanawagan siya sa lahat ng lahing Malay na magkaisa laban sa rehimeng kolonyal. Ganyang kalawak ang kanyang pananaw. Tulad na nabanggit ko kanina, naalala ko si Bintaw bilang ama ng aktivismo ng mga mag-aaral, the father of student activism in the Philippines. Dahil noong 1930s, sinubukan ng mga mambabatas na itaas ang sariling mga sweldo at nanguna si Bintaw sa mga estudyanteng lumabas sa mga lansangan para tutulan ito. Sa panahong mas madali ang tumahimik, naglakas loob siyang magsalita. Sa mga protesta nitong nakarang mga araw tungkol sa flood control scam, parang boses din ni Bintaw ang isinisigaw ng mga nagpoprotesta. Hindi pwedeng manahimik, pakikipagsabwatan ang pananahimik. Sa salita ni Bintaw noong kinukumbinsi siya ng asawa niya na wag nang labanan ang mga mananakop na Hapon, sabi niya, "If I stay silent, they will still come. If I kneel, our children will grow up slaves. It is better they remember their father stood, even if he must fall." Si Wenceslao Vinzons din ang pinakabatang delegado sa 1934 Constitutional Convention. Later, naging gobernador ng Camarines Sur at naging assemblyman ng nasabing lalawigan. Nang dumating ang ikalawang digmaang pandaigdig, pwede sana siyang manatili sa Maynila, ang sentro ng kapangyarihan. Sa halip, umuwi siya sa bayang Tinubuan para organisahin ang isa sa mga unang kilusang gerilya sa Luzon. Tinipon niya ang mga kababayan niyang mga magsasaka na may bolo, mga estudyanteng may mga patpat, mga mangingisda na may mga lumang rifle, at binuo ang halos 3,000 guerrilla force sa Kabikulan. Hindi mga sundalo, hindi malalakas na armas. Sa ehemplo niya, itinuro niya na lakas ng loob ang pinakamalakas na armas. At dahil sa tapang niyang iyon, siya ay tinugis ng mga Hapon, pinagtaksilan, nahuli, binugbog, pinahirapan, inalok ng ginhawa kung ipagkakanulo ang mga kasama. Pero tumanggi siya. Noong Hulyo 15, 1942, sa edad ng 31 anyos, bago siya barilin, sinabi pa niya, "Huwag matakot. Mamamatay tayo para sa ating bansa. Balang araw, magiging malaya ang ating mga anak." Kahapon, Vinzons Day, pinapaalala ng araw na ito at ng buhay ni Bintaw na ang aktivismo ay pagmamahal sa bayan, na ang pamumuno ay hindi tungkol sa kita o poder, kundi sakripisyo at serbisyo, na ang kalayaan at mabuting pamamahala ay hindi kailanman ibinibigay, lagi itong ibinabaka o ipinaglalaban. Maaring may magtanong, ano ang kinalaman ng isang kabataang Pilipino na nabuhay noong 1930s at 1940s sa ating mga digital natives na kabataan ng bagong milenyo? Ang sagot ko, lahat. Dahil sa panahong pwede nang magsulat, magpasya o manlinlang ang makina, social media, higit kailanman kailangan natin ang tapang, konsensya at pakikipagkapwa-tao. Huwag nating ipagkanulo ang alaala ni Bintaw Vinzons. Tumindig tayo laban sa baha, hindi lamang ng tubig, kundi ng katiwalian. Dahil dalhin natin ang kanyang tapang sa ating mga silid-aralan, sa ating mga barangay, sa ating mga tanggapan, at oo, sa mga bulwagan ng Kongreso ng Senado. Tumindig si Wenceslao Vinzons, kapatid, gobernador, bayani, kahit kamantayan ang kabayaran ng kanyang pagtindig. Tunay siyang palagiang sagisag ng pag-asa, ng kalayaan, ng tapang ng kabataan. Tulad niya, harapin natin ang hamon ng kahirapan, di pagkapantay-pantay at korupsyon na siyang sumisira sa ating demokrasya. Naway tayo sa ating panahon ay tumindig din. Sa ating araw-araw na pakikibaka, mabuhay ang alaala ni Wenceslao Vinzons, mabuhay ang sambayang Pilipinas. Maraming salamat, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa ating mga kasamahan sa Senado.
Mr. President, may the good gentleman answer just one question from this representation? Mr. President, if I
Willingly to our Majority Leader.
Go ahead.
Is-
Go ahead.
Thank
We
you, Mr.
open the
President.
period of interpellation. Go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. President, I just want to ask, is there a law already recognizing Wenceslao Vinzons? Because if there's none, I would suggest that we pass a working holiday but a law. Meron na?
There is a provincial ordinance, if I'm not mistaken, but there is no national law.
So if the good gentleman, Mr. President, would like to spearhead one, I would love to be a co-author of that law. I think we should recognize him for his efforts. He was martyred in World War II because of his belief in freedom and of democracy, and his vigilance should be rewarded not just by mere resolutions in the Senate, not just by mere provincial resolutions. Kailangan tayo talaga ng batas.
In fact,
Not
Mr.
drawn.
President, for the information of our colleagues, when he was killed, together with him was his wife, two children, and his father. They were all killed by the Japanese invasion forces.
I visited Vinzons in 1991, and the story goes that before he was killed, he was paraded on the streets. He was paraded on the streets of Vinzons, which was, I'm not sure if it was Vinzons before. I think it was Daet.
Yes, the members of the family, the grandson is here. And he confirms that the story, Mr. President.
I'm trying to recall the name of the mayor then, but that was 1991. I think the Wenceslao Vinzons III was not born yet. Anyway, I would be honored to be a co-author of this resolution, Your Honor. Senator Ping Lacson is
Thank you,
recognized.
Mr. President. The Majority Leader raised a very interesting question, no, and manifestation. Wala pala tayong law, even a proclamation or executive order na nagdi-declare ng isang Pilipino bilang national hero. Even Dr. Jose Rizal and the others, by tradition lang.
Yes.
Naging national. Now, maybe we can initiate a legislative measure, no? Establishing the parameters or classification on how to declare a Filipino to be a national hero. And I would suggest that Wenceslao Vinzons would be the first recipient of that law if ever it is passed. Because as you were as you were delivering your sponsorship speech, I was chatting with ChatGPT, no? Alam nyo, yung exploits niya talagang makatindig balahibo, no?
That
He
is
was
correct.
captured by the Japanese, very young CONCOM delegate at age 24, 1935 Constitutional Convention. Tapos elected as governor, a member of the House of Representatives. And he was captured by the Japanese because he was the one who organized yung uprising sa Bicol.
That is correct.
The whole of Bicol region. He was tortured but he refused to cooperate. So he was beheaded.
Yes,
No,
yes.
along with the other, as
That
you
is
said,
correct.
members of the family. Very unfortunate, and what a waste, no? Because in his young life, he was beheaded at age 31. No? He could have contributed a lot para sa ating mahal na bayan, no? especially during the Japanese occupation, and even beyond that, had he not been beheaded. So maybe we can craft a legislative measure para maging batas. Ano ba yung mga parameters? Para na sa ganon, kung meron tayong ma-encounter na ganyan, mga exploits by a Filipino patriot like Wenceslao Vinzons, at least meron tayong magagawa para ma-recognize yung kanilang mga heroism, ika nga. So, I think we can work on that,
Yes,
Mr.
yes.
President. So with that, thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Senator Lacson. If I may just put on record also, Mr. President, this was a column of Mr. Romero, Segundo Romero, in the Philippine Daily Inquirer 10 hours ago, so today. And if I may quote, born in 1910 in Indan, Camarines Norte, he became the UP Student Council chairperson and editor of the Philippine Collegian. He was a visionary, far-seeing, brilliant advocate for a pan-Malay union, founded the Young Philippines, a political party of law students who insisted that the youth was not a waiting room, but a vanguard. At 24, he was a delegate to the 1934 Constitutional Convention. At 27, he was governor of Camarines Norte. At 29, he was assemblyman. But the two tests, sabi nga, came not in the halls of lawmaking, but in the forests of Bicol during World War II. And for the Japanese, neutralizing Vinzons was essential. When he was captured in 1942, they offered him collaboration, help pacify the resistance in exchange for his life, and he refused. And therefore, the Japanese retaliated by executing 6 members of his family: his father, Gabino, his wife, Liwayway, his sister, and 2 of his children. And an unborn child was lost with Liwayway. So she was pregnant at the time that she was killed. So clearly, the sacrifice of Wenceslao Vinzons and his family is worthy of
Immeasurable.
immeasurable and worthy of our giving him the honor that he deserves. I therefore move that we, well, unless there are, yes, I understand the gentleman from Camarines Norte.
Senator Robin Padilla is recognized. By the way, when was Wenceslao Vinzons governor of Camarines Norte? No,
Norte,
not
yes,
Sur.
correction.
Yes, Camarines Norte. Okay. He was, what year was he governor?
The age of 27. So if he was born, well, 1910, so that would have been 1937 when he was governor.
All right, 1937, yes. When I visited in 1991, the governor of Camarines Norte was the father of Senator Robin Padilla.
I'm willing
And
to
you
yield.
you are recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa ating pinunong mayorya. Gusto ko lamang pong magpasalamat sa ating bayani ng mga magsasaka, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, sa pagkilala po sa aming bayani sa Camarines Norte. Ang buong probinsya po ng Camarines Norte, kasama po ang pamilya ng aming bayani, ay nagpapasalamat po sa inyo sa pagkilala niyo po at sa pagtindig dito sa ating plenaryo upang bigyan po siya ng nararapat na pagkilala. At ganun din po sa ating po mga kasamang senador, Senator Panfilo Lacson, Senator Mig Subiri, at sa ating pong Senate President, Senator Vicente Soto. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Isa pong karangalan ang mapag-usapan po ang pangalan na yan dito, Wenceslao Vinzons, sapagkat yan po ay aming pong bayani, aming pong kinikilala. Sa kanya pong pamumuno ay na-liberate niya po ang Dait at ang buong Camarines Norte noong panahon ng Hapon. At ang mga weapon lang po nila noon ay mga pana. So, talagang wala po silang masyadong armas. Pero sa tapang po ay napaatras po nila yung mga Hapon. Maraming salamat po uli sa inyong lahat.
Mr. President,
Thank
with the
you.
permission of the majority
Yes.
leader, I move that we approve Senate Resolution number 128, and if the rest of the senators are willing to be co-authors.
Yes, but there are no interpellation, there are no
Yes,
amendments?
Mr. President, there's no interpellation from our members.
more,
And no
amendments.
amendments as well, Mr. President.
Yes.
I move to adopt Senate Resolution number 128 with all members of the Senate as co-authors, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, PS Resolution 128 is hereby adopted.
Mr. President, maybe we suspend for 1 minute so that we can just approach the family and have a picture. They would like to have a picture with us, Mr. President.
Session is suspended. The additional, is it contained in the additional reference of business? Majority Leader.
Yes, sir.
You need 16 votes for that particular.
bukas pa po yung ratification
reading.
for the second reading lang po.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But I
Only for
believe
second reading.
the gentleman from Nueva Ecija, Camarines Norte, and Mindanao would like to be recognized.
Senator Robin Padilla is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa ating pinunong mayorya. Gusto ko lamang pong sundan yung kahilingan po ng ating mahal na kapatid at Senador Jingo Estrada patungkol po sa kahilingan namin, sa resolusyon po namin, patungkol po kay dating Pangulo Rodrigo Roa Duterte. At gusto ko lamang din pong kunin po ang atensyon ng ating mga kasama na kami po kasi ay nangangamba kasi meron pong mga usap-usapan na Antonio Trillanes ay nagpunta daw po sa The Hague, ay siya po ay nagpunta mismo sa kulungan ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Nais lang po sana namin itong malinawan dahil matagal po akong nakulong sa Bilibid. Hindi po kailanman na meron pong pupunta na tao na hindi mo gustong makita. Yun po, tatanungin ka muna ng gwardya kung gusto mo bang makita itong taong ito. Po naming malinawan kasi meron na pong matinding sakit si Tatay Digong. Sa kasalukuyan po, siya po ay meron ng tinatawag nating early signs of dementia.